Yeah.
How we doing?
Okay, it's good.
Don't forget your positioning.
So I drew this little terrible diagram backstage about
That was good.
standing.
Lines, yeah.
So we're going to try something a little bit different here. What was the two things that the buy side wants from the sell side?
Publishers specifically, right? So, and in typical and totally appropriate buyer fashion, we have 4.
Okay, perfect.
Not 2.
You're going to give all 4 or just cut it down to the best 2?
Oh, no, all 4 are meaningful
Good.
and important. So the first thing was transparency from sell side. And again, a lot of people are going to say, well, what means about margin? That's not the discussion. It's about where am I running, why am I running, that type of transparency. So more about what I'm running.
That's pretty basic
So
stuff,
inventory,
right?
Clarity, really?
Yeah, listen, I don't think that's, I don't know if everyone's getting that.
Listen up, publishers.
Okay. Second thing was one sales approach. So not a programmatic selling thing and a everything else selling thing, right? Everyone recognizing that it's all inventory. I want to buy inventory in different ways. So I want one sales approach. That was number 2.
Fair.
Number 3 was access to more inventory programmatically, and there was 2 dimensions of that, both digitally, right? So not just again, let's take this out of the remnant discussion into I'd love to transact programmatically. Doesn't have to be on a non-guaranteed basis, and an interest in other non-digital channels, if you will. Where is this going for out-of-home radio, TV, et cetera? So more inventory. And then the fourth thing was better access to the tech people. Feeling like there's a blinding from the people, that the guys in the room that actually know the details of how this works. It's really hard for the buy side to get access to the product people, if you will, that understand the landscape.
Okay, all sound fair, right?
Yeah, we take those. That's good, right, guys?
Okay.
Those
So
in the room, those are all legit.
how about from the publisher side? What are they?
The
want from
publisher
buy
side, understandably, we did our job to, respect time, and we only have 2 instead of buyers who often, of course, bitch more than they should. But anyway, no.
It's getting
Come on,
tense.
we all.
Budget just got
try
cut
to
in
mix
half.
it up a little bit. So our two were deal point transparency. So Jeremy Randall gave a great shout out to some good work that the IAB did around a checklist for PMPs. I think that combined with this request around, are you actually overlaying data? The classic of, setting up 1 million impressions to be 1, and then, geez, you only take 4,000. Oh, we forgot. We're looking at just a look back of somebody retargeted in the last 4 minutes. Well, that would help to know, kind of thing. So something around, maybe a couple of folks have experienced that. Frequency cap limits, and if there is a frequency cap, that'd be nice to know occasionally, because it seems like there aren't a lot of times. And then what other pixels are piggybacking? So a lot of us have had the example of, it seems like the deal is okay, and then what's this viewability pixel we see traffic through suddenly? And oh, okay, now we know the goal line is over here. So that's one set of requests. And then around managed tags or header bidding, you like how we basically packaged 4
Yeah,
asks
I was
into
going to say
2?
you had 2 because
Smarter.
in
That's
triplicate.
also a stereotypically bad salesperson's job, taking up time but still trying to honor the rules. Around guaranteed and prioritizations, a lot of folks asking for things that maybe could be solved elsewhere. Header bidding, the phrase du jour, but a lot of folks have set up their stacks differently, and so what are you actually trying to do? What are you trying to solve? We maybe have that solution without having to go into the weeds and pull resources for 2 weeks, and so, again, we know we've got a lot of let's say newbies on each side of the transaction there, right? So we're looking for one point of contact from the buy side sometimes as well. So that was, probably the second request.
Yeah.
So did header bidding come up?
Yes, a lot. We actually had by the way, I think all those things are fair. I think those are totally legitimate.
Good.
Not that it mattered, but
No, not really.
No.
But hearing it from you to the other sellers is
makes everyone feel happy.
a nice gesture.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So it was a bone. Header bidding. Yes, we spent 20 minutes probably this morning, or almost at least, on header bidding, and very much about what does it mean, does it make any sense? And I think the discussion was recognizing that we're talking about a pretty advanced topic overall when we're getting to the realm of header bidding, yet that it's a very important one that has a big impact for the future of how the marketplace transact in a programmatic nature, and combining all inventory access is a very important topic. I think there's pretty good recognition that it is a little bit of the buzzword du jour, and that it's not the way that most transactions are going to be done today.
Okay. So how about requests from the technology side, from ad tech?
Yeah, so we both decided to, change the dynamics from yesterday and get a wish list for each other. And so for here, we have the same. And if it's okay,
Please.
you actually backstage gave me
You have the list.
your list, so we're kind of representing all the same. So let me just scroll it out. That's an old gag. Okay, so we've all seen that on variety
What about
shows
as
for
well
40
as we
years.
thought it was going to go?
Notice
You know,
I'm
we're
not
running out
carrying
of
toilet
time. We got to be
paper.
quick. It would have been funnier as it long or, you know, went into the second row kind of thing. But anyway,
Next time.
you want to go first, buyers first?
Sure. Let's see. Really, actually, two very simple but overarching points, which you would say, why isn't just this what's going on? But I think we all experience the fact that it's not. One was pretty simply better clarity. You know, just actually describe what you do, what you're good at, and what you're actually offering. I think was one major piece. I think we just all can immediately go, yeah. There's so many times we walk out of meetings with ad tech and go, a what? So that was a major theme. And then the second point, which was better integration, which I think most of the ad tech would actually agree with, which is the desire to integrate with each other.
With each other.
With
Yeah,
each
yeah,
other.
right. I was going to say there are three different.
Correct. Yeah.
integrations.
Ad tech needing to integrate with each other.
Yep.
It's the constant pull, guys, of, you know, no one wants to use only one solution provider, but it's forced down that way when multiple providers actually are not working well nicely in the sandbox.
There's
Too
a
hard.
balance, right?
So if we could just get more of you guys in the ad tech stack to continue to work to build the tools together, which is happening, I would say.
Yeah.
It's a slow process, but I think the buy side is saying that's a really important part of the process.
And from the publisher side?
Yeah, R2, somewhat similar. Let me make sure I'm quoting accurately. One talked about expressing limitations. We thought that was helpful. You know, save us some time instead of showing the great PowerPoint, maybe showing a little bit of a sandbox, but then, you know, show us where it's not working so that we don't realize that 3 to 10 weeks down the road, and then, oh, we thought you guys were there on that. So, you know, that will probably save a time and a little bit of street cred and being upfront and honest. And then the second was, you know, the classic feature versus benefit. You know, there are companies, and again, this is tough feedback when there are more than 300 companies, a lot of them in the room here and a lot watching over live streaming. There's a wide spectrum of those that are doing it really, really well and those who maybe need some work. So, you know, we had one publisher say the opening line to, you know, a couple of the tech companies was, hey, you know, do you want to see my UI? It felt very, I was saying, it felt like the guy in the raincoat in Times Square.
Sort of a Benny Hill
you know,
approach.
Like, very nice, Benny Hill reference, very good. Yeah, and, you know, maybe take 5 minutes to listen first about my challenges as a publisher and then come in with some solve.
Did anyone get a shout? I won't go to the negative side. Well, maybe. But
probably
did anyone get a shout out for doing it well?
No, there were. I mean, you know, again, just the same way we didn't shout out names last time when we talked about 12 ad tech companies in a span of 20 minutes, good, bad, and ugly. There were, and so you know, people have plenty of great. We actually took the last 5 minutes, went deeper into DMPs, and those who've done it well, those who have struggled, top 3 in terms of probabilistic, deterministic, depending on the stitching required or the first party data that's known. And then how it applies into audience extension or other products that are spinning off of that.
I'd say what's interesting about that point is the other big topic that came up was how to figure out how to dissect different data partners. And really in a world where you don't have a DMP or aren't transacting all your buys through a DMP, how do you make sense of the, quote, data providers that are doing campaign management was another big part, was the alternative side of that discussion and the move towards a centralized data stack. But the same thing of this clarity piece, almost multiply it at some decent multiple on data providers when you get lack of clarity on what is it you're really doing. And we're going to use ice cream flavors from now on to describe different types of data vendors was the decision.
Neapolitan, one of the.
We went more with Rocky Road and Vanilla Bean, but you know.
That's fair.
Okay.
Stuff being thrown in, good.
That's it.
Good job,
Guys,
us.
thank you so
Cool.
much. Appreciate it. Okay.